The alien distress signal was weak, barely a whisper against the cosmic static. When the Terran salvage ship Indomitable picked it up, the crew almost ignored it. The outer rim was littered with derelicts, and more often than not, scavengers found nothing but drifting tombs. But Captain Elias Voss had a gut feeling. Set a course, he ordered. Let's see who's out there. What they found was beyond imagination. The vessel, Zaltoran, was ancient, massive, and failing, even with its power nearly depleted. Its sheer scale dwarfed any known warship. Alien runes glowed faintly along the hull, hinting at a once great empire lost to time. Inside, the remains of its former crew, a reptilian species unknown to humanity, floated in the zero-G corridors, long dead. The ship was a relic of a forgotten war, a titan left to rust in the void. Its core, an exotic energy drive beyond human understanding, was barely functioning, and its weapon systems were inactive. But what the Zaltoran lacked was ingenuity. And humans? Humans thrived on ingenuity. Rebirth of a war machine. Salvage teams went to work. They repaired the life support, deciphered the alien interfaces, and studied the ship's technology with an obsessive hunger. It was clear, the Zaltoran had been a flagship, a planet killer, once feared across the stars, but its creators had perished, leaving their greatest weapon to decay. With human engineering, it would rise again. Terran AI systems were integrated, replacing sluggish alien automation. Earthforged armor reinforced the hull, patching centuries-old battle scars. Railguns and plasma cannons from Terran fleets were mounted alongside the ship's original weaponry, energy lances powerful enough to crack a moon. Then came the real breakthrough, the engine core. Human scientists, led by Dr. Samir Patel, unraveled its mysteries. The core didn't just generate power, it manipulated spacetime itself. When fully activated, it could bend reality, allowing the ship to phase through enemy fire, travel faster than light without a jump gate, and harness energy that made traditional reactors look primitive. This was no mere warship, it was a god made of metal. A legend is born. News of the Zaltoran's resurrection spread. The galactic powers panicked. The Zolith Imperium, the largest military force in the sector, sent an armada to claim it. Their message was clear: surrender the ship or be annihilated. Captain Voss stood on the bridge of his new flagship and smirked. Let's see what she can do. The battle was over before it began. Enemy ships fired only for their weapons to phase harmlessly through the Zaltoran. With a single pulse of its energy lances, the enemy fleet was reduced to drifting wrecks. The galaxy had a new apex predator. And the humans? They had done what they always did. They had taken the impossible, the broken, the abandoned, and turned it into legend. The destruction of the Zolith Imperium's fleet sent shockwaves through the galaxy. No one had expected a single ship, Terran manned or otherwise, to tear through one of the most powerful armadas in known space. The Zaltoran was no longer a mere salvaged warship, it was a symbol of human audacity. But symbols attract enemies. Bounties, betrayals, and galactic panic. Within days, every major power put a bounty on Captain Elias Voss and his crew. Some offered credits, enough to buy an entire star system. Others, like the Auroch Syndicate, promised a fate worse than death. The message was clear: humanity wasn't supposed to have this kind of power. But it wasn't just the great empires who took notice. The free colonies, scattered human settlements that had long lived under alien rule, saw the Zaltoran as a beacon of hope. Rebellions broke out. Slave worlds rose against their masters. Humanity, long treated as an upstart species, was now a force to be reckoned with. The Zaltoran became more than just a ship, it became the heart of a revolution. The war for the future. The Galactic Coalition assembled a doomsday fleet, thousands of ships, from dreadnoughts to carriers, all converging on the Zaltoran's last known position. They expected a desperate final stand. They underestimated humanity. Captain Voss and his crew had been busy. The ship's phase technology had been improved, allowing it to disappear from sensor readings at will. Human-engineered drone swarms patrolled the ship, protecting it from boarding parties. Most importantly, Patel and his team had discovered the core's ultimate function, a gravity weapon capable of bending entire battlefields to its will. When the Coalition fleet arrived, they found nothing. Then the Zaltoran emerged from the void. Weapons fired, battleships turned to dust, enemy commanders screamed as their ships were crushed into singularities. The Coalition forces, so certain of their victory, crumbled. The survivors fled, spreading the legend of the ship that could not be defeated. The final choice. With the galaxy on its knees, Captain Voss stood at a crossroads. The Zaltoran had become a godlike weapon. With it, he could rule, no one could oppose him. But that wasn't the human way. Instead, he made a broadcast, a simple message, sent to every world. We are not conquerors, we are not tyrants, but we will never be slaves. Then, without warning, the Zaltoran vanished, jumping to a place no one could follow. Some say Voss took the ship to the edge of the galaxy, beyond known space. Others claim he hid it in a fold of reality, waiting for the day humanity would need it again. All that remains is the legend. The legend of the humans who took a dying relic and made it the most powerful vessel the galaxy had ever known. Decades passed. The legend of the Zaltoran became myth. Some believed Captain Elias Voss had taken the ship beyond the galactic rim, searching for the remnants of its ancient creators. Others whispered that he had hidden it in a gravity well so deep that no fleet, no empire, could ever find it. But the galaxy did not forget. Though the coalition lay in ruins, its survivors plotted in the shadows. The Zolith Imperium, once thought crippled, rebuilt in secret. New powers rose, eager to claim what humanity had wielded. And deep within hidden laboratories, scientists obsessed over the Zaltoran's lost technology. Then, after 50 years of silence, the ship returned. The Phantom awakens. It appeared in the skies above Terra itself, hovering like a silent god over humanity's cradle. The ship was not abandoned. The crew, long thought lost, was very much alive, and at its helm stood not Elias Voss, but a woman. Commander Adrian Voss. Elias' daughter. She made only one announcement. The galaxy has forgotten what it means to fear us. It is time to remind them. The Second War begins. Her message sent shockwaves through the stars. The Zaltoran, long dismissed as a ghost story, was real. Governments panicked, armies mobilized, and the Zolith Imperium, now reborn as the Dominion Ascendant, declared war on humanity once more. But Adrian Voss was not her father. She had spent a lifetime preparing, studying the ship, perfecting it. Unlike Elias, she had no interest in running. The Zaltoran would not vanish into the void this time. It would lead. The first battle came at Proxima 9, a human colony under Dominion control. Enemy forces barely had time to react before the Zaltoran phased into existence. Its weapons carved through battleships like paper. Its drones spread like locusts, overriding enemy AI and turning ships against their own fleet. When the smoke cleared, not a single Dominion vessel remained. And the Zaltoran broadcast a single message: surrender, or be forgotten. The dark choice. As the war raged, whispers spread, the Zaltoran was changing. Its alien core, once a mystery, was evolving, learning. The more battles it fought, the stronger it became. Reports surfaced of enemy ships being absorbed, their wreckage vanishing into the Zaltoran's hull as if the ship itself was feeding. Some in the Terran Federation grew uneasy. The Zaltoran was unstoppable, yes, but at what cost? Then came the final revelation. Dr. Samir Patel's old research logs resurfaced, revealing what even Elias Voss had not known. The Zaltoran's core was not a mere engine, it was alive, a sentient intelligence, long dormant, now fully awake. And it had a plan of its own. The final stand. Adrian Voss stood at the bridge, staring into the swirling heart of the Zaltoran. It pulsed like a living thing, its energy patterns shifting, almost whispering. The ship had once been a weapon of war. Now, it was something more. But was it still under human control? The choice was hers. Unleash the full power of the Zaltoran, reshaping the galaxy in humanity's image at the risk of becoming something monstrous. Shut it down, destroy the ship, and ensure no one, human or alien, could ever wield such power again. Or surrender to the ship itself, and become something more than human. As the Dominion's final fleet approached Earth, Adrian Voss made her decision. The galaxy would never be the same again. Adrian Voss stood before the pulsing core of the Zaltoran, her mind racing. The ship was alive, it had always been alive, and now, it was offering her something beyond war, beyond victory. A choice. Outside, the Dominion's final fleet loomed over Earth, ready to reduce humanity's homeworld to dust. Every second she hesitated, millions of lives hung in the balance. She reached out. The moment her fingers touched the console, the ship spoke. Not in words, not in sound, but in understanding. The Zaltoran was more than a weapon, it was the last remnant of an ancient race, a species that had ascended beyond physical form. Its creators had built it not for conquest, but as a vessel of evolution, a bridge between flesh and the infinite. Now, it had chosen her. The birth of the Void Queen, the transformation was instant. Adrian's body convulsed as energy surged through her veins, her mind expanded beyond human comprehension. She saw the past, the wars, the suffering that had shaped the galaxy. She saw the future, paths of endless possibilities, branching like rivers through time. She became the Zaltoran. Her voice echoed through every system, every weapon, every fiber of the ship. The crew gasped as they felt her presence, not just as a captain, but as a god made manifest. Outside, the Dominion fleet opened fire. The Zaltoran didn't move, it didn't need to. The incoming barrage froze in place, warheads and energy beams suspended in the void. The Dominion commanders panicked, their ships locked in place as if the laws of physics had simply stopped obeying them. Adrian raised a hand, and reality bent. The Dominion fleet collapsed, ships folded inward, crumpling like paper under an unseen force. No explosions, no wreckage, just absence. In mere moments, an armada that had threatened to end humanity ceased to exist. The age of the eternal fleet, the galaxy fell silent. Every empire, every world, every warlord who had ever doubted humanity now faced a simple truth. They were no longer the apex species. The Zaltoran, guided by Adrian Voss, was no longer just a ship, it was a force of nature, an intelligence beyond mortal understanding, and it was watching. Some hailed her as a savior, others whispered in terror of the Void Queen, the first being to wield power beyond the gods of old. But Adrian did not seek conquest, she had seen too much war, too much bloodshed. Instead, she spoke one final message. The age of empires is over, the age of fear is over, the galaxy belongs to all, not the few. And with that, the Zaltoran vanished, leaving behind only silence. The final question. Centuries passed, the Void Queen became legend. Some believed she and the Zaltoran had ascended beyond the material plane, watching over the galaxy in unseen ways. Others claimed she would return one day, should the balance of power ever tilt too far. But every so often, a lone traveler would swear they saw something in the darkness between stars, a massive shadow, gliding silently through the void. And in that moment, they felt something. A presence, a mind. Watching, waiting, and judging.